G'day and welcome finally to the next episode of Tech Adapt Crafts. Today we are looking at upcycling. We are taking things like soup cans and we're turning them into industrial silos. Now I'm also using some of the plaster casting stuff that I've done before. I'm using foam with the rollers on it that I've done before. I'm really loving how this has turned out. Now I've done some silo work before, like this. This is using MDF on a laser cutter just to cut out these gantries and things like that. That's turned out quite well, but that was old. This is now the newer way of doing them. You can see another one down here, and this one has two cans on it, a number of layers just to give again some height variance, and there's some computer terminals there that are also plaster cast, so you can really get a nice variety of pieces for your gaming table. This one here is also using pieces from a company called Back to Basics. Fantastic terrain, really simple, and it utilizes toilet rolls. Apparently we've all been using a lot of toilet paper in the past couple of months, so we should all have a lot of spare toilet rolls. These just fit straight onto the toilet rolls, and it's a really simple way to make some great industrial terrain. We've got this one uses two double stacks of baked bean cans, and in the middle it's actually got Barocca tubes. This one is a fantastic way to recycle or upcycle your soft drink cans. The files are available on Thingiverse. I apologize, I can't remember who made them, but I'll put the link in the description. They are called tin can silos, and it's just a simple print that fits straight onto your Coke can or whatever sort of soft drink, or even some beers, ciders. Slot it on and job done. There is your tin can silo. These pieces here we made in the club a really long time ago. Morgan, if you remember. Yep. These were using packing from something. So you'll often buy something that'll have form-fitting cardboard or styrofoam in the box that is there to help pack the whatever it is that you bought. Well, have a look at them. They can sometimes work really well. This one had a really interesting design going through the middle of it. We put some Barocca lids on either side to make it look as though that column was going all the way through, and just some foam board on the top with corrugated card, and it was done. It's a little bit disrepair at the moment because it hasn't had much use, but that was really simple. We put some just cereal box card on the edges just to break the rough surface and make it look a bit cleaner on some parts, but that was it. Tutorial today is on building this one. First time I've really gotten into doing rust effects. It's not 100%, but I'm really happy with how that rust has turned out, particularly on the pipes. So you'll get to see that in a moment. I'll also put a link to a woman on YouTube who I followed for doing the rust effects, because again I hadn't done it before, so I look it up, and what she did was amazing. So I'll put that little link. Anyway, enjoy the tutorial, and hopefully you learn something about how to do some upcycling and maybe paint some rust, set up your own little industrial scene, and get in there and have some futuristic fun. See you at the end of the tutorial. Hope you enjoy it. Cheers. Here we go with some tin cans and some Barocca tubes. I've got a steel ruler and a blade. However, I'm using this guillotine, which made it so much faster. Mark off the strips of cardboard. I was doing it at 5mm and 10mm intervals, and then just slice up all the sheets that you need. The cans have a slight lip around the top, so I start by placing a vertical strip from one ring to the other, and this will help when we're placing the band around the tops. It will go over that and link it all together. You could use any sort of gluing method you'd like, but I've chosen to use the hot glue gun, A, because it's faster, B, because it will adhere really well. And when I'm trying to get this done quickly, I need something that is going to adhere and I can move on to the next part without worrying that it's going to fall off. The hot glue gun, work quickly so that it doesn't dry before you put it onto the can, but it's a really fast way to get those things stuck on. We've now got our verticals and our cross beams, but we need to cover up the joins. So add a rectangle of card just over that central piece, and it can be like a panel just welded together to keep all of those cross beams in place. I curl these pieces slightly before gluing them on, as it does make it a little bit easier to glue it onto that round can. Adding the rings on the top, curl that cardboard, which is just cereal box cardboard, I forgot to mention that before, and attach as you go. Don't try to put all of the glue on at once because you will not make it around before that glue has hardened. I did find that out the hard way. The other thing I learnt was not to cut that out to size beforehand because the glue did push it away from the can. Wrap it round, cut it down, and then cut to size as you get there. At this point, you're now level with that lip, so add a second ring on top of the first, which will now be a little higher, giving you a two-layered effect. Make sure you trim that down though once you are done, as this is where you're going to stick the can to its base. Then repeat for the top of the can. I'm opting for a plain top on these ones. You can do all manner of things. I've got some there that I've done with fly screen wire just to make it an open top, but these ones, just a plain top. You need to build that top up though, so that it sits flush with the top of the can, the ring of the can. Scrap bits of card are great for filling in that top gap. Then stick your top down and add the final rim around the outside. This will hide the joins. You can also then add extra hot glue into the top to seal it nicely. You could leave your tin can solo at that point. I'm now using some of the plaster cast pipes that I have done before, and I'm adding those to the sides just to give it some extra flavor. I'm really pleased I did, because they turned out great. base, I'm using a block of foam that I've cut out on my Proxon hot wire cutter. I am marking off stairs here at the moment, just as an easy way for the miniatures to get up onto that platform. Once that's done, I use some strips of card to cover those up, easier for painting. To add some texture to the base, I'm using my fork and welt rollers. For the top, I am using the large flagstones, and for the sides, I'm using brickwork. Unfortunately, this was the first one I was doing using that. I got a lot straighter with the roller for the other ones that I did. For some extra decoration, I'm adding some pubs and some computer terminals that I've also plaster cast. That's it for the build. We're now up to painting. So the first layer is Mod Podge. Add that to all of the foam and the plaster. Nice liberal coating there. It'll seal those pieces and make it easier for the paint to adhere later. Once that is done, spray the can and the computer terminal with silver or some form of metallic paint. We're then going to start on the rust effects. I'm using Reeves Burnt Umber, added with a little bit of Liquitex Matte Medium. Just gives it a little bit of extra body. Patch this on wherever you think that the rust might work. You can be as adventurous or as conservative as you like with that rust. It really doesn't matter. It's how much you want to add on. The next layer is Cadmium Red from Basics range, which I also bought at Bunnings. This goes over the top of the brown and you start doing more of a splotch or a stipple effect. It also has that matte medium added into that, again adding body to the paint. The video that I've linked you to at the beginning is a really great video for painting rust, but I have done my own take on it here. I've added extra steps just to smooth out that transition from the red to the orange, and I think that that's worked quite well. And we're about to get to that first blended layer, adding in orange into that red mix. The orange is the Citadel Troll Slayer orange. Now going to the black wash. This is so that the final layer of orange highlighting goes over that black wash, leaving the shading but making that orange very, very bright. Leave that off to dry, and now go back to the base, paint grey over the entire piece. This is my own blend of a black and white craft paint, which I store in a used bottle. Next, dry brush the top part only with white. We're going to go with a two-tone color effect here on that base. As you are dry brushing over that pattern, try to get a little extra dry brushing done along the lines without getting into the crevices. That'll just give you more of a pronounced flagstone effect. For the brickwork, we are going to dry brush that with Tormann's Timber Beam. This gives you that two-tone effect. For the computer terminal, I'm just adding colors to those panels. You can use whatever color you want. Using that Troll Slayer orange you saw just a moment ago, we are now very much stippling over the top of that rust effect. You can now also dry brush over a lot of that corrugation on the tin, just to add extra layers of that rust along the edges of the cardboard. It just really heightens that feeling of being a very rusty piece of metal. Now to wash the base. We're using the black wash on the top of the flagstones, and we're using a brown wash on the sides of the bricks. Time to stick it down to the base. Hot glue that rim. You'll need to be very quick here, and then stick it down as squarely as you can. And it's done. You could go further. You could add extra details to the base. You could cover up the glue. I'm not worried about this. That is done. There you have it, our soup can silos. Hope that you learned something about how to upcycle some of your pieces that you have lying around the house, or some of the pieces that you may have just thought they're rubbish. No, you can use them somehow. Hope that you enjoyed it, hope that you learned something. Make sure that if you do, click like, click subscribe, and leave a comment down the bottom. It'd be really great to see those comments come through about how you do your upcycling, or what sort of materials that you use to create your terrain. Congratulations to my Year 12s. You have just finished your practical exams. As this is going to air, we are all starting to relax because the final exam was today. Guys, you've worked really hard and I'm very proud of you. Well done. Don't forget, if we get to that 200 subscriber mark, we'll be doing another live show, and that's hopefully going to come up fairly soon. We'd love to get back in and do some more work on that dragon, or paint something else that you guys choose. Until next time, keep hobbying, and we'll see you in the next episode. Till next time, see you later.